Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Inshallah, everyone is doing well. Let's see. I want to get this up and running. I have about an hour before Maghrib, so I figured I'd go live, answer any questions you guys may have, especially for those of you who already received your bottles and stuff. We're going to do some live technical support, so kind of get your feedback as well, inshallah. So let's see. What's going on with this? We go through this every time. We go through this every time. Okay, let's see. And actually, I had a few questions for you guys, inshallah. I'm kind of curious your guys' thoughts on a few things, especially like leading into Ramadan. So there's a lot of questions about changes that are going to be made, inshallah, going into Ramadan. So inshallah, I'll be able to answer those. Let's see. I don't know what's up with this. Let's see. What's going on? Let me just close this out and go again. Oh, that's not it. I can't even pull this up. All right. Maybe it did not work. That is not it. Let me close this down and upload it again. Let's see. Yeah, so a lot of you guys should have already received your bottles. For those of you who placed an order prior to January 1st, a lot of you guys should have received it by now. I think there's only a handful. I think there's only like 4 people left that need to be fulfilled. It just required more information, but yeah, everyone should have received their bottles by now. So if you haven't, please reach out at support@azhaari.com. That way I can at least double check for you, inshallah. So. And for those of you who already received your bottles, I definitely recommend checking out highly recommend going on to the YouTube channel. It's basically Azhaari, and going under the full breakdown, because there is a learning curve with this bottle. So at least that will kind of get you going, inshallah. So. I don't know what's going on with this. I can't even pull it up. Let me try this. I can't read any comments or anything. Let me double check this real quick. I can't even read any of you guys' comments. All right, let's see. Let's try this one more time. We go through this every single time. It's tradition now. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. Perfect. All right, now I can finally read what's going on. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Where am I from? I grew up in the U.S., so Yeah, I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. So, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, everything is good. Alhamdulillah. Wa alaikum assalam, Yusuf. Assalamu alaikum. So, Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. So, yeah, So I actually had a few questions for you guys. Am I Muslim? Yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm Muslim. Alhamdulillah. So, alhamdulillah. Let's see. Forgot my questions. Oh yeah, so I had a few questions for you guys. Kind of want to get you guys' feedback on something. So, first of all, I'm kind of curious your guys' thoughts on, for those of you who already received your bottles, how was the fulfillment? How did it actually show up? Was there any issues with that? Was there any issues with delivery, things like that, the packaging, so on and so forth? I know a few people said that the packaging was not that great, so I want to see if we can improve on that, inshallah. So, let's see. Number one. Alhamdulillah. So, so yeah. Like I said, if anyone has any questions or concerns, feedback, just let me know, inshallah. Like I said, I don't know who was here earlier, but I have about like maybe 45 minutes or so before Maghrib, so I was like, oh, let me just try to answer as many questions as I can. It was great. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. So yeah, if there's any questions, just let me know, inshallah. Do we ship to Lebanon? Yeah, alhamdulillah, we ship internationally. So that's one of the good things about having a fulfillment agency in place. It took some time to do that, but alhamdulillah, we should be able to ship to the overwhelming majority of places. So for those of you, like I said, for those of you who placed an order prior to January 1st, so basically all the launch good orders are fulfilled, and all of the orders prior to January 1st are fulfilled, except for I think 3 or 4 individuals. So yeah, if you have not received your bottle, please reach out at support, SUPPORT, at Azhaari.com. At least that way I can double check for you, inshallah. So for anyone that placed an order after January 1st, we're still waiting on 2 components to make their way to our fulfillment agency. Right now, they're either in transit to customs or they're already at customs. I'll know exactly on Monday, inshallah. So, and from there, that's like the biggest unknown. Like there's no way to know how long it'll take. That's the issue. Because a lot of people really want it leading into Ramadan for Eid, but with customs, there's no way to gauge that. It can be 2 days, it can be 2 weeks being held up, it can be 2 months, it can be sent back to the sender. So like there's too many variables. But once it clears that phase and it gets to the fulfillment agency, then the fulfillment happens fairly quickly. So do we have stock? No, we don't have any stock in Lebanon. So, and it's all basically direct to consumer. So, Assalamu alaikum, brother. Is the bottle heavy to hold? So, as it is right now, with this compartment, the storage compartment, it weighs 575 grams, which is slightly heavier than like most bottles, 32-ounce bottles. But the good thing is that you can always have this removed. Like you can always remove it. So this on its own is on par with any other 32-ounce, like a Hydro Flask, Thermo Flask, tequila, so on and so forth. So it's pretty much on par with that. So they're actually very similar sizes as well. So this is a Hydro Flask for comparison, obviously with the lid on it, but they're almost identical. So this is slightly wider, but in terms of weight, they're pretty much the exact same. So not too bad. 32 ounces is just enough to where you can utilize it for wudu, misting, cooling off, drinking, rinsing, without needing to constantly refill it, and at the same time not getting crazy heavy. So I find that's kind of a sweet spot. I am back. I am from Germany. Along with that, it's pilot. We have a lot of German brothers and sisters. We have a lot of German brothers and sisters. So, along with that, I'm Muslim. Alhamdulillah. Let's see. What is the price, brother? And how can I order? So it's only through our website, www.azhaari.com. And then the price, it just depends. So the standard bottle, which is basically all of this. Oh, hold on. Basically, the lid, the bottle with the storage, and then there's an extra lid that it comes with. You can see it on the website. That's $69.99. And then with the accessories, it's $89.99. So. Really, I'm from Egypt and Allah Mubarak. Masr, yeah, mashallah. So, Azhaari. Yeah, so this version roughly translates to flourish. So, yeah, typically it's not with two A's, it's usually with one A, but someone already took it. So, so. Wa alaikum assalam, Kareem. Alaikum assalam. So I have to pray, but I'll be back inshallah. Inshallah. So actually I had a few questions for you guys. So this is basically like most people think that we're, for me, I see our business and our brand more of like a community brand more than anything. So we like to get actual feedback from people. So, and actually have conversations about it. So one of the things I wanted to ask was, so let me preface this. So back when we did the Launch Good campaign, we wanted to, we still plan to donate to those in need. For every 3 bottles that are purchased, 1 is given to those in need. So when we did the campaign at that time, we didn't have the accessory kit. It was just the bottle on its own, as it is right now. It didn't even have the paracord handle. So it was just the bottle on its own. So we were planning to send out just the bottle itself without the accessory kit for those in need. But since a lot of people received the accessory, like for those of you who placed orders and received the accessory kit, I know a lot of you guys reached out saying the accessory kit is literally a game changer for a lot of you. It has very specific use cases for you guys. And it got me thinking like, man, I would love to put the accessory kit in with the bottle itself for those in need. The problem is it costs too much to do that as of right now. So we're not able to do for every 3 bottles are purchased, 1 is given to those in need with the accessory kit in that 1 bottle. So we have 2 choices. We can either stick to for every 3 bottles that are purchased, 1 is given to those in need without the accessory kit, or instead of 3 bottles, we go to 5 bottles. For every 5 bottles that are purchased, 1 is given to those in need, but it includes the accessory kit for that person in need or that family in general. So I'm kind of curious your guys' thoughts. Which one is the better approach? So, because I realized I didn't realize just how useful, like I said, that accessory kit is. Especially like I said, for those in need. I mean, it's literally a water flosser, a bidet, hydration pack, like for those who are sick, elderly folks. It can literally be used to take a full shower, like a full shower. I'm not kidding. So, like I had to test it myself. I had to go see, can you actually perform a full shower with that? And you can. And then with the trigger lock piece on the accessory kit, you now have a faucet to be able to wash clothes, wash whatever you need to wash, clean, cook. So there's a lot of use case with that accessory kit. So I'm kind of curious, like, yeah, I'm not sure. More people would get the actual bottle itself, but if we did the 3 to 1, but I feel like there would be a greater impact with the 5-to-1, but with the accessory kit. So, because they kind of cost the same anyway. So, I'm kind of curious your thoughts on that. How to order. How many that's available at Azhaari.com. Yep. Can't it be like a mix? I don't know a lot about business, but if maybe the sales are good this month, do 5, and if not too much, just maybe 3. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. The thing is, when we send out to those in need, so the thing that we factor in is the cost of shipping directly to those in need. So the goal was, and we still have this goal, but basically for every person that places an order, we set aside a percentage of that order, the total order, for those in need. And the goal is to build out enough funds over a long period of time to then be able to place a bulk order and produce bottles separate for those in need, and then be able to ship it out in bulk. That makes it a lot more cost effective, because then you get better pricing, number one, and then number two, you're not sending out individual units. You're sending everything at one time. So, but the thing is, everything is done what they call post sale, meaning someone would have to place an order in order for you to take a percentage to give to those in need, if that makes sense. So otherwise you would kind of just be taking from your own inventory. So at the moment, we're not able to place an order for the minimum order quantity, because the minimum order quantity is pretty high, the cost for it. So instead, especially leading into this Ramadan, we're going to be setting aside a portion of our own inventory to give to those in need. I don't want to wait until we have enough funds to then place an order. It takes 2 months or 2.5 months to produce the bottles, and then it takes 30 days to ship it out. I was like, that's just too long. We want to take advantage of Ramadan, inshallah. So, but yeah, I think a mix might work. But I'm curious which one is more advantageous for the end, for basically someone in need. Because I think if we just give, like, let's say a bottle for an individual, you can give more bottles out in total. But with the accessory kit, I think you can literally give one bottle to an entire family for them to utilize. So the impact is different. Okay. Shout outs from London. Alhamdulillah, I'm good. How are you? May God bless you. I vote for 1 each time 3 are sold. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, it's a very like I said, I can see the benefit of both. Overall quantity given out versus the overall use of the accessory kit. So yeah. That was my main question. So, and then piggybacking off that idea too, was when we do end up sending out units for those in need, because we're planning to do that. We're going to set aside several dozen of our current inventory just for those in need, at least for Ramadan. When it actually gets to we hope to work with actual charity organization, but when it actually gets to those in need, on the one hand, we want to show that it actually that the people that actually need it actually receive the bottles. So more so like transparency for people that actually place an order. And I know people are like, well, did it actually get there? Did it not get there? So we want to actually show that it actually got to those in need, and it's unambiguous. Like it's clear cut. So more so transparency. So we want to actually like show that, like photos and video that show like it actually got there. Especially nowadays with AI, there's no way to know. But on the other hand, we also want to be very respectful of those in need that we're actually giving to. For me, I've never felt comfortable when folks or certain organizations, they showcase who they're giving to. Um, to me, that's very condescending. It's very humiliating and embarrassing, and kind of disrespectful towards the person you're actually giving it to. You're just putting them on blast in front of millions of people. So I don't know how I feel about that. I'm also curious about that. Like, is it better to showcase that for transparency or not showcase that? Like, I don't know. So. Walaikum assalam, Pastor Abe. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Let me translate this. So I'm kind of curious your guys' thoughts. I'm not sure, to be honest. So, like I said, it's a group effort. So, let's see. I have to use Google Translate. Type the language. Where can I buy the water like this? It's available at Azhaari.com. So www.azhaari, AZHAARI.com. Exactly. We were just talking about the showcasing. It's definitely humiliating. I wouldn't want someone recording me in my. Absolutely. That's what I think too. I was like, it's a weird spot to be in, because on the one hand you want to show that people are actually receiving, actually benefiting, but on the other hand, it's like how you go about showcasing it matters. For me, I've never been comfortable with just putting people on blast. That's just, to me, that's very disrespectful. So I know for me, I would not want that. For if I'm on the street, I would not want that for myself, or for anyone in my family or peers or anything like that. So maybe they can blur their faces. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah, that would work. Blur their faces. And the thing is, like, especially nowadays, like, you just don't know what's real and what's fake. That's the only concern. Yeah, that's the only concern. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah. So those were the two main ones, about how to go about it. Another option was working, again, directly with a charity organization and have them just make, show like proof of actual like inventory getting to those in need. At least they can kind of vouch that it actually took place. And that's one of the reasons that I like giving a physical product rather than just sending money. It's very easy to send money, right? If I want to send $100 right now, I can go to, there are countless charity organizations. I can send $100 and that's that. But you have no clue, once you send that money, where it's actually going, who's actually benefiting, what is actually being purchased, how much it actually gets to them. There's no way to gauge that. So we kind of just give and then shut our eyes and have to walk. And I was like, no, I'd rather have a physical product, because then it becomes very concrete. It's very transparent. It's like, okay, did people, for example, in Yemen, get an Azhaari model ball or not? It's very clear cut. So someone asked another question. They were asking about, so since inventory is making its way to our fulfillment agency, they were asking, is there a way to have like gift cards and stuff like that? Inshallah, we're going to be launching gift cards leading into Ramadan, inshallah. That way people can be able to gift that for Eid and stuff like that, and not rely a whole lot on whether or not we have inventory. So, and that'll also help for us to be able to upfront the cost of more inventory. That way we have inventory on hand to be able to actually fulfill. So. Let's see. There was another question I completely missed. Yeah, so yeah, those are the main questions that I had. Yeah, we might, like you said, I think we might do a mix. And then, like I said, we're probably I really want to work with an actual charity organization. That way, because they already have, more often than not, they already have boots on the ground. So it's very easy to give it to someone reputable, and then know that it actually got to people. So. Brother, how do you recommend cleaning it? So the main way, it depends on to what extent you want to clean it. So the best way is to fill it up with water and a little bit of soap. And the good thing is that you can pressurize it. So when you pressurize it and you spray, a lot of it's going to go up the tubing and out the nozzle. But if you want to do a deeper clean, you can remove the intake screen at the bottom. That would be one way. And then also removing the tubing. And then cleaning the nozzle as well. So yeah, that would be the best way. It depends on what you're actually putting in there though. So with water, it's very easy to do. If you're putting like, I'm trying to think of an example, like juice of some kind or something like that, then yeah, it would be a more deeper clean. So yeah, inshallah, I'm gonna make an actual video of the actual cleaning process. So yeah, that way it's a lot easier. So. But the good thing is, like I said, is that pressure. I think that's a huge advantage because, like I said, as soon as you just push the trigger, it'll clean it. So, yeah, it'll literally run through the entire system. And the good thing is that you don't have to take apart the actual lid, like the mechanical aspects of the lid. You don't have to take that apart. The house, it's basically confined into a housing in the lid, so it's completely separate from where the liquid is. So. And inshallah, I'll also make a video of that. If you did want to take it completely apart and put it back together, it takes about 5 minutes. So, very straightforward. And it requires no tools, which is another plus. So, awesome. No worries. So, yeah, if you guys have any other questions or concerns, just let me know, inshallah. Inshallah, we'll be doing a bit more lives because I feel like that's the best way I can answer as many questions as I can, as opposed to answering individual questions. I can't keep up with that. So I tried, and I couldn't keep up. So that would be effective. Yeah, I agree. So. Okay, I'm kind of curious about you guys, what you guys up to, what you guys are working on, and yeah. If you guys need some help or feedback or anything like that, feel free to reach out, inshallah. So. Oh, another thing someone asked was about an affiliate program. Inshallah, we're going to be launching an affiliate program as well. So that'll definitely help as well. I know like a lot of people were saying, oh, let's do wholesale stuff. And that was something that we wanted to do at the time. But then I realized we were not expecting a whole lot of direct-to-consumer orders to come in. So to do wholesale, we were like taking from our own inventory. So I was like, you know what, for the time being, let's just do direct-to-consumer. And unless if the wholesale or the distribution amount is significant, then we could probably put in a separate order. But for the time being, I think it's just going to be direct to consumer. So I think the affiliate program would probably be best because that costs nothing. So to implement. So. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Well, from you. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. I don't know. There's a lot of people out of the UK and Europe. A lot of people from all over places that I didn't even, like for years I haven't heard about. So just coming out the woodworks. I was like, man, subhanAllah. Yeah, our ummah is very vast. It's very diverse, subhanAllah. So, but yeah, the affiliate program, I think that will definitely help. And I know a lot of people that are like, oh, I would love to sell and stuff like that. I think the affiliate program is a great way to do that, just because at least then you can test your market and see if this is something that you want to introduce within your community, within your region, within your country, so on and so forth. So, and that way you don't have to upfront the cost. So at least then you can test and see, okay, does this work for me? Does it not work for me? And even if you're like, especially anyone that wants to get into entrepreneurship and they want to just give it a shot without a whole lot of risk, that would be a good approach. So. Brother, how do you recommend? Okay. Would a gift option be a good idea? Something that we can customize, like, inshallah. That's one of the things that we want to offer in the future. Inshallah. Unfortunately, right now we don't have the ability to do that. So, yeah. Like I said, the MOQ is very high. So, and it's very costly. So. And then obviously customizing and stuff. So then it would have to go from the fulfillment agency to another company of some kind to be able to do custom engraving and then send it back to the fulfillment agency and then ship it out. So there's just too many logistical issues with that. But inshallah in the future. So, mashallah, brother. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. We'll be ordering some for you. Inshallah. Like I said, so right now we do have, we're waiting on final components to make their way to our fulfillment agency. So they're either on, I don't know if they're right before getting to customs or if they're already at customs. I'll know exactly for sure on Monday, inshallah. So, and then obviously there's no way to gauge how long that'll take. So, but once it clears customs and gets to the fulfillment agency, fulfillment happens fairly quickly. So, in the off chance that it does take a while, at least we're going to offer gift cards on our website, inshallah. That way people can just place an order for the gift card to be able to gift to people, just in case we don't have inventory on hand. So, where are you from? So, I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, so the U.S. So yeah, and my as far as my family is concerned, my father was from Bethlehem in Palestine, Palestine, and my mother's from Yemen. So very inspirational. Jazakallah khair, brother. I appreciate you. Yeah, well, I'm just doing what I. For me, I just found this like a friction point in my life. So I was like, you know what? It solved the need for me. So I was like, let me see if I can offer it to other people. So. And yeah, had it not been for the support of everyone, launch good supporters and backers, none of this would be possible after Allah Azza wa Jal. So the thanks is not only to me but also to everyone else. So chicken mandi. Let's see. Do you ship to the UK? Yeah, we do ship to the UK. So, and how long will it take? So, on average, it usually takes about 6 to 9 business days once the order is shipped and you receive tracking information. Yeah, that's usually the time frame. But that's assuming, like I said, we have inventory. So, as I just said, right now we have some final components making their way to customs. If not, they're already there. Like I said, I'll know for sure on Monday. And then depending on how long that takes to clear customs, then inshallah, once it gets to the fulfillment agency and the order ships out, it'll be 6 to 9 days, inshallah. Something to keep in mind is that the cost of shipping on the website, I forgot to mention this, is something known as DDP, meaning it's basically duties are already paid for and taken into account. So there should be no other fees that are added on. The only exception is individuals in Europe. So they do have VAT surcharges to certain places in Europe, and that's about I think a 25% VAT surcharge. So it's just something to keep in mind, inshallah. So, and I think to Sardinia, I think it's 15%. Those are the only two that I know of that may be additional fees. So. Just so everyone is aware. So So yeah, if they're asking for like duties and stuff like that, when trying to receive it, you should not have to pay anything. And if they are saying that you have to pay, reach out to us and let us know. That way we can clear it up with them, inshallah. So. Jazakallah khair for that. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going back. I'm saying chicken mandi. uh, what plans do you have next? If this is your first version, what improvements do you envision? Well, that's a good question. So there's a few things. Number one, we want to find a way to put in a built-in filter, especially if we're gonna give to those in need. I want there to be a filter. That way, when you fill this up with any water, they'll be able to automatically filter it, so you have clean water within the bottle itself. I think that would be perfect. The only problem is it becomes a consumable item. So we have to find the right filter. Like usually, like most filters, it'll be like every 6 months or a year, you have to replace it. So if we're giving to those in need, it becomes problematic because now you have to send filters every year or 6 months. So a way to implement a filter, a long-lasting filter. There are some out there, but they're very expensive and they're a bit bigger. They're almost too big to be able to fit in this lid. So that's something we're gonna have to look into, inshallah. That's number one. Number two, colorways, different colors and different sizes. So that's another thing we also want to implement, inshallah. Number three, molding and tooling for this storage compartment. What we're gonna do, inshallah, is basically get molding and tooling for basically something like this, where the threading is on the inside, but then on the outside there's threading, kind of like how this is, threading on the outside. That way you can stack these, make it entirely modular. So you can stack these. You can put that one on there with the threading at the bottom, and then be able to thread this one on. So you can stack as many as you want. You can have one for hygienic purposes and one for unhygienic purposes. So you have two separate compartments. So that's something we also want to implement. What else? There's a lot of stuff. So I think I also mentioned last time, inshallah we'll do like drops, like limited edition drops and stuff. A very unique, basically hiring or having people, artists, be able to come up with a custom design or logo or like custom bottle itself. And basically, like let's say, for example, we have a Palestinian artist create a nice image on the bottle itself, Palestinian themed image. When we do the drop itself, a portion, basically the majority of the portion, would go to that particular cause. So with that drop, a portion would go to Palestinians. A Sudani artist making a nice image or something like that on the actual bottle, portion of those sales would go to Sudani individuals. So stuff like that, inshallah. So there's a bit more intention behind the actual drop, because a lot of bottles nowadays they do like limited edition color drops, but there's no intention behind it. So at least for me. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. It just takes time though. So and that's just with the bottle itself. There's some other ideas that we had in mind. Honestly, this was the only thing that we could realistically and cost effectively bring to market. So, but we have some more far more unique ideas, but it just takes time and funding, of course. So yeah. Assalamu alaikum, shuk. So, a lot of ideas. And like I said, we're always open to the individuals, asking, letting us know what are their thoughts, any ideas that they have. Feel free to share. I mean, like I said, this is more of a group effort more than anything. So yeah. If you find like there's actual use case for you, and you're like, oh, I wish we had, this particular use case, feel free to share, reach out and share, inshallah. So yeah. I'm trying to think what other questions there are. Someone asked about whether or not we'll come out with an automatic version. Maybe not at the moment, because there are a lot of other bottles out there that are electric, like they have electronic circuitry and stuff like that. I highly recommend some of those. This is again more for like basically one bottle that you can carry anywhere, anytime, and not worry about electronic components and stuff breaking or water getting into the circuitry. So, but there are bottles out there specifically for wudu that are honestly probably better in certain use cases in certain environments. I know there's, I think, two brothers that came out with a bottle called Wudus. It's it has an automatic sensor. There's another one called, I think it's like, what is it called? Wuduna or something like that. And then you also have like continuous mist bottles. My Wudu Companion, that's another example of that. They're really, really good. Or even like the Wudu Cup. They're really, really good in very specific environments. So yeah, for us it was more like we want something that is more well-rounded and solves a lot of pain points at one time. So, you know, a misting bottle is great, but it may not serve you well if you want to just drink water or be able to put hot and cold liquids in it. So it just depends. Like I said, anyone have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to reach out, inshallah. And I'm kind of curious, for those of you who received your bottles and accessories, what are your thoughts, inshallah? So, how much to Morocco? Let me see. So the bottle itself with the extra lid is $69.99, and then with the accessories is $89.99. The shipping cost, it covers duties and stuff like that. I believe that's it's either $24.99 or $29.99 to certain regions. So yeah. Let me double check. Yeah, it's $29.99. Yeah. I see with things like Stanley Cups, people could put attachments to the bottle itself to make it multi-purpose. Yours, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I agree. In fact, there's actually I want this for myself. There is a obviously it's a very different attachment, but there's a company called Takva, Takva, and they have a clip-on sajada, a prayer mat to be able to pray. It's like one of these clips, very easy and portable. So I was thinking to get one of those and be able to either put it in here or just clip it on here as well. So, but you're right. I think there are more attachments that can be had. So, inshallah, in the future. Unfortunately, it's a slow process, because I say this to a lot of people. Like, most people think we're like this massive company. Like, no, we're a handful of people, and we don't have like investors or VCs, or we don't take out interest-based loans and deal with riba and all that stuff. So it's literally just self-funded. So that's why it takes a while, and that's why we do pre-orders. You know, a lot of folks are like, "Why are you doing pre-orders? Why don't you have inventory?" Like, because you have to upfront the cost. So that's why we're doing it. So it's a bit challenging, but it's alhamdulillah, it's in due time. Assalamu alaikum. Let's see. Also, different colorways will definitely help with aesthetics, but for sure. Absolutely, I agree. Yeah, we try to go with the most basic colors, very universal, white and black for the time being. Because like I said, once you start to introduce more colors, to place the order, a minimum order quantity is very expensive. So you have to show, like you have to know whether or not you'll be able to actually sell it or not. So if we go with something very specific, there's no way to tell if it'll sell or not. So, you know, a lot of the Muslim sisters were like, oh, we want pink. I was like, I don't know if we can do pink right now. But the good thing is, this is actually something that's very underrated. The lid itself, this particular lid, is cross-compatible and interchangeable with a lot of the popular common bottles out there, like the Hydro Flask, the Thermo Flask, the Tequillas, so on and so forth. So if you already have a pink Hydro Flask, you can use it on that. So you don't have to wait for us. So, but I know some people want the compartment and stuff like that. But for the time being, if you really wanted a pink bottle, you can do that. So yeah, there's a lot. Like I said, it's very versatile. Like we're trying not to like limit you. So a lot of like, and I say this a lot. Like I notice there's a lot of brands, a lot of companies and businesses. They'll force you into their ecosystem and keep everyone else out. I'm like, no. The whole point of our brand and our business, and even the product, is to actually serve you. Like, it actually adapts to you in your day-to-day life. That's the main takeaway. So, Assalamu alaikum, brother. I want to sell your bottle in India now with which I'm making profit purely for some. I do not want any profit from this. Inshallah. So, my recommendation would be if you reach out through email, support@azhaari.com. You can definitely send me an email there. What we can do, I would actually recommend, I recommend this to everyone. We can do an affiliate program. That way you can actually test your market. Because I know a lot of brothers in India and even in Pakistan, they would love to do it, but I know the cost is very high. So for me, I don't like to let them, I don't want them to upfront the cost of the wholesale cost and stuff like that, because it is fairly high, not knowing if they can sell it or not knowing what the market is like. So at least with the affiliate program, you can at least test it. You can see, okay, does this sell? What is you can understand your market a lot better. And the cost, the risk is a lot less. So all you would need in that case is just one bottle versus 10, 50, whatever it may be. So my recommendation to you is to do it that way. Just one bottle with a QR code or something like that, an affiliate code, and test it. And once you see, okay, there's a lot of demand for this product, people are willing to pay, so on and so forth, then you could say, okay, let's go wholesale. So that would be my recommendation, inshallah. Do you guys deliver to the UK? Yeah, alhamdulillah, we deliver to the UK. Mm-hmm. Something to keep in mind, it is DDP, so the duties are paid for, custom stuff, that's all paid for. But to certain countries in Europe, and I believe it's the UK, they charge a VAT surcharge of 25%. So just something to keep in mind. Let's see. Are you Ash'ari? No. I don't really put labels on myself. I don't do that. So, because a lot of people do that. Are you Ash'ari? Are you Sufi? Are you Wahhabi? I'm like, I don't do that. So, yeah. Follow Quran and Sunnah. Simple as that. Oh, what madhab? They're like, what madhab are you? Like, what are we talking about here? So, if someone brings me evidence and says, okay, the majority of madhahib say this particular thing about a particular ruling, for me, I take what is generally in consensus. That's just what I do. And I'm willing to change my opinion based off of what the general consensus is. So like let's say, for example, I'm Hanafi, And there are certain instances where the Hanafi opinion or perspective is the minority, and the majority of the other three madhahib are saying this particular thing. For me, I would go with the majority. Like, there's a lot of evidence to support it in the Quran and Sunnah. I follow that, so I don't kind of just put myself in this one spot and that's it. I don't do that. So I'm joking with you. Yeah, for me, I feel like people focus so much on these, like, putting themselves in these different camps. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. So, and worse, then unfortunately, sometimes when they put themselves in a particular camp, like let's say Wahhabi or whatever, they unfortunately then they start to talk poorly of everyone else, and I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, in an attempt to stay within this particular camp, you're now potentially disrespecting everyone else, which is not in accordance with the Quran or the Sunnah. And if you're making fun of or disrespecting other Muslimin, like you're taking on sin just to stay in this camp. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So, price. So the bottle with the extra that I don't have it on, unfortunately, is $69.99. With the accessories, it's $89.99. Okay, I will email you. Jazakallah khair. Yeah, that would be my approach, brother. Yeah. Because I don't want people to upfront the cost and stuff and then not know if it can sell and have money tied up with it. I don't like doing that. At least that way you can test it and see for yourself if this is something that you want to do, and then inshallah you can go all in if you'd like. So yeah. That would be my advice for anyone getting into business or entrepreneurship. Basically, do everything as much as you can post sale. That would be my advice. A lot of people try to upfront the cost of the business so much to the point where they'll literally require loans or go into debt. I'm like, no, make sure you're doing everything post sale. So you're focusing on the main thing, which is the sale itself, and that will help supplement the business. So I ordered one of your bottles for the unique. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, you received it. Alhamdulillah. So I need to translate this. Let's see. Very expensive. A lot of people are going to say that. A lot of people are saying that. Like I said, unfortunately, we're just getting started as a business, so the cost is expensive, and we are also doing it internationally. So that's why a lot of businesses, they don't do international, because it's very expensive. So yeah, I know it's very expensive. So the good thing is that we try to put as much value as we possibly can into the product itself. So like this particular bottle, for example, this is about $50. And all I can do is drink out of it. So with this, I mean, yeah, it's a bit more, it's $20 more, but I can mist, rinse, clean, wash, store. I have a paracord handle, I have rope on hand, I have a compass, there's a lot more use case, and it comes with an extra lid. So for $69.99. So for me, again, I know it's expensive, but at least for me, it solves more needs to justify the price. That's me though, I'm biased. So, but inshallah, like I said, we're gonna work on the price. Inshallah, we can offer a smaller size, like a 24 ounce. That way we can drop the price to be able to offer it to more people, inshallah. So I'm using it right now. Just perfect. Alhamdulillah. Yeah. I'm curious your thoughts. How do you like it so far? So is there anything that you found a bit challenging? Yeah, I'm kind of curious your thoughts. So is what you saw through like social media and stuff, is that what you actually received? That's my main question. I try to be as transparent as I possibly can to let people know exactly what to expect. So I'm hoping that came across, but I can't tell. So People of Iran need help. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Absolutely. A lot of places, why they need help. Yemen, Sudan, Somalia, Eritrea, so on and so forth. So, subhanAllah. Yes, it's exactly what I expected. Okay, alhamdulillah. That was my main concern. So that's why we did not do like marketing and professional photography. And I was like, I want to show you exactly what you're getting, the good, the bad, the ugly, so you know exactly what you're buying and know what to expect. So only negative, the black cap isn't the best. No worries. So inshallah, that's something we're gonna look into. Yeah. Is it like the actual like what exactly about the cap? Are you talking about no, not the lid? I think you're talking about this, right? The nozzle. It leaks. So if you're trying to use the single jet, I'm pretty sure that's what you might be referring to. When you use the single jet, it takes a bit of time to know exactly how much to turn it to be able to use the single jet. Because you're right, if you go too far, it'll start to leak. There is no proper seal. And if it's too closed off, it starts to mist. So it's gonna take a bit of time to get used to. Even for me, sometimes I make that mistake. But yeah, it'll take time. So once you get the hang of it, you'll be able. It's literally a quarter turn to a half a turn. That's it. So as soon as it goes from mist to a single jet, that's it. So some people try to go a little bit too far, and then it starts to leak. So yeah. I think that's everything. I don't see any other questions. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, it's like I said, it's not a common bottle. That's the thing. There is a learning curve. There is quite a bit of a learning curve. So, so I would definitely recommend checking out that video, the full breakdown on YouTube. That'll definitely, because there's a lot of different features and stuff with the bottle. So the main lid is sometimes hard to close all the way to prevent any air to leak. So hold on, the main lid to close all the way. Okay, I see what you're saying. Because there's pressure. So there is one way you can reduce the pressure inside the bottle to be able to open the lid easier. It also takes some time. I should have put that in the other video as well, but unfortunately I forgot. If you turn the bottle very quickly, so the thing is, so you have that intake tubing inside the bottle itself. So if you have the liquid make its way to the opposite side of the bottle, when you turn it upside down, I don't know if I can show it. I don't want to spray it all over the place, but if I turn it very quickly, you want it to where the intake tubing is at its height. Before it settles into the water itself and sprays, it'll settle. Well, when you turn it very quickly, the water will go down, but the tubing will stay up. When I turn it very quickly, that allows for air to escape out of the bottle itself. That definitely takes time. Even I'm not good at that, but yeah. Sometimes it's gonna stay pressurized inside. So you're right. You're not gonna be able to. It's gonna be very difficult to be able to open it up. So unless if you spray water out and then try to open it. So and then vice versa when you're trying to close it, because like I said, there's air trapped inside. So naturally, as you start to close it and start to tighten it down, the air that's in there starts to pressurize and it pushes against the lid itself. So that's why it's a little bit more challenging to close it. Yeah, sometimes it's perfect, and other times you can kind of hear the air leak. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it also depends on obviously altitude and stuff like that. There's a lot of variables. So yeah, there's a lot of variables. So let's see. Oh, my brother, man. Well, Amin, jazakallah khair. Alayna wa alaykum. Inshallah, I'm doing translator. Speak English and Turkish. Alhamdulillah, no worries, brother. No worries. Allah grant you peace, brother. Alayna wa alaykum. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. Inshallah. No problem. Jazakallah khair. Yeah, like I said, there are certain things I kind of want to work on as well, but yeah. For a first product, I'm happy with it overall. I'm pleased with it. So yeah. But yeah, I think there are some things that we can definitely work on and stuff. So like I think even like this pump handle, I think this can be metal. I think that would be better. An actual metal rod that goes all the way down. I think that'd be good. So. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Abdullah. All right, I think that should be it. I'm gonna have to probably let you guys go. I have to go pray Maghrib. Yes, I was thinking the same metal in the future. Yeah, I think that would be good. It would be far more robust. So, yeah, I agree. So, and I think there would be less. The tolerances would be better. It would be more tighter margin, so that especially with metal. So, and I feel it would be very premium as well. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else is there. I think that's pretty much it. The other thing I was gonna do was the compass. So I think I said this in the other live. The compass, I want it to be filled with petroleum. Like they have like a petroleum oil that fills the compass. That way the compass face doesn't oscillate or anything like that. It's very smooth. So I also want to do that as well. So that's very subtle changes, but yeah. All right. Jazakallah khair everyone for stopping by. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to reach out, inshallah. I'll do my best. So I'll probably let you guys go. Like I said, inshallah, we'll be doing more lives more often. And my goal is to do it at least once every other week. And especially like in Ramadan, maybe once a week. Just so that we can kind of go in order now, brother. Do you ship to Belgium? Yeah, alhamdulillah, we ship to Belgium. Yep. If you use the code FIRST5, FIRST5, I believe you get $5 off your order, inshallah. You can use that. And inshallah, I don't know, I want to really offer a discount code during Ramadan. That's the goal. And Eid. The only concern I have is because we're going to pre-order, the discount may not be that much. That's the only problem. So, yeah, we're gonna try to get that figured out, inshallah. But like I said, we're also gonna offer gift cards. So yeah. Jazakallah khair. I look forward to your live. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. It's always a pleasure. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barak. Ameen. Ameen. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barak ala Sayyidina Muhammad. All right, I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, if anyone has any comments, questions, concerns, inshallah, please feel free to reach out. I would definitely recommend using email. I can't keep up with DM, so support@azhaari.com. So yeah. And I think that's pretty much it. Inshallah, everyone has a good night or good morning, depending on where you are. And as always, barakallahu feekum wa jazakallahu khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.